Okay, Richard. We have a project due on Carl Sandburg in 1 week. Alright? I want you to do his life and his accomplishments.
How long does that have to be?
I'd say 2 to 3 pages.
Oh man, I've never heard of Carl Sandburg before. How will I ever do this project?
Have you looked at the board all week?
What do you mean?
Here, look. I showed you some facts. This is Carl Sandburg. Born January 6, 1878, Galesburg, Illinois. His parents, August and Clara Anderson, they lived in a small cottage, which they sold a year later. He was the second of 7 children, and he started working at a young age.
Oh, really? Maybe I did see something about that.
I know, I showed it to you.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll get started on this project.
You get started.
Carl Sandburg. Never heard of this guy. Hey, have you heard anything about Carl Sandburg before?
Yeah, he's a really good poet. A lot of the stuff that he wrote was famous for its vigor and style. And a lot of his work was also free verse, so it was easy to understand. He also included a lot of imagery in his work, so you could actually imagine what he was trying to say. He also was commonly influenced by his experience as a farmer and city dweller. So his most famous poems were about Chicago, where he lived most of his life. It was all about the husky, brawling, stormy life of the city, but also about the lonely peace of the prairie. But you should probably look up some more information, just to be on the safe side.
So, you're saying that he was a famous poet, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's something else I can write about. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do some extra research for myself. Oh, wow. I didn't know he had a career in journalism. Once he returned home to Illinois, he took up a new career in journalism. During the decade where Sandburg was making his name as one of the new poets, a major source of his income was the newspaper work. He contributed articles to the Day Book, Chicago Daily News, and the International Socialist Review. While working for the Day Book, he stayed from 1917 for the next 13 years, reporting on Chicago race riots in 1919 and serving as a film critic from 1920 to 1927. A few of Sandburg's contributions to International Socialist Review were signed. Most were unsigned or written under various pseudonyms, especially Militant and Jack Phillips. Wow. There really is a lot of stuff about Carl Sandburg that's interesting and cool. Let's see what else I can learn. Okay, now that I know about his life and his early life and his career, how did he die and what's left of him today? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I know. Carl Sandburg was one of the most influential poets in American history. He knew all about the American working man and his necessities. Sandburg used poetry to describe the economy to anybody he knew. And he was named after a lot of things like historic preservation, colleges, areas, villages, junior high schools, libraries, just named after him to create a strong impact on the Illinois community. He also got a medal, a Presidential Medal of Freedom because of his place in the Illinois community and how he helped out.
Really? Thanks for teaching me about that. Pretty much, I have a lot to know about Carl Sandburg. I can probably write this project now. Hey, Mr. Harrison, I've done a lot of research, and it seems like I'm going to be able to do this project by next week.
Okay, I expect an A from my son.
Okay, see you later.
Exactly 5 minutes.
Cool.
God, we don't have desks.